Please turn off all mobile phones. Photography and film is not permitted other than what we have here. We don't want to throw anybody out for breaking our secrets like Gavin Williamson. He might escape prosecution. You won't get away with it. Enjoy the show!
Je suis enchanté.
Happy to see you.
Bleibe reste stay.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. In Cabaret, oh Cabaret to Cabaret.
What good is waiting for Brexit to loom? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret. Let's not remember this moment of gloom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine, come in hand, come blow that horn, start celebrating. Right this way, the future's waiting. What good but minting some prophet of gloom to wipe every smile away? Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
We used to have a union with our neighbours. We pooled our strengths and showed our love in labours. Until the day we broke that special promise and dropped our friendship like a poisoned chalice. The day we left, our neighbours came to snicker. Well, that's what comes from those who want to bicker. We looked like we'd been dropped in on a tree. We were just the saddest dump they'd ever seen. I think of Europe to this very day, and I remember how they turn to us and say,
what good is staying alone on your own? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret.
And as for me, I've got my mind made up, I need my neighbours, that's the fruit of all our labour.
Stuck by admitting from cradle to tomb, isn't that long a stay? Life is a cabaret, old chum, it's only a cabaret, old chum, and we love a cabaret.
Scarcely lamented Prime Minister David Cameron to the graveyard of European influence forever and ever.
Amen.
And in so doing, We remember his fault. Oh, his most grievous fault. For there was no health in him, only a legacy of divisiveness and despair.
We charge thee, Cameron.
We commit our rashly departed Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, to blessed oblivion.
God willing.
For he is, as the fallen angels were, condemned by his own revolting ambition. For him there shall be no relief from a lifetime of self-ridicule.
We charge thee, Bojo.
We commit one Michael Gove, the slimy cove, to a lifetime of perpetual self-conflict, sashaying from one loyalty to another, stabbing former friends and enemies in the back alike, with ambidextrous ambiguity.
We charge thee, Gove.
We commit our first Brexit bulldog, David Davis, to a seat on the back benches for all eternity, for duplicity in his country's hour of need and disloyalty to his Brexit boss.
We charge thee, Davis.
We commit Dominic Raab to a life rotting in obscurity.
Verily we charge him.
We remember particularly Chris Grayling, the transport secretary, who in the event of a no-deal Brexit, commissioned a company to run a ferry service. Yeah?
Without ships! We charge thee, Grayling.
Now it befalls me to recall unto the Assembly the accusations of deceit and treachery, the votes of no confidence, charges of contempt, plotting and counter-plotting, the amendments and amendments to amendments, the threats to the leadership and the attempts to overthrow it by the ERG. And in so doing, let us recall Parliament's attempt to take over the entire process, the multiple indicative votes, and the failure to pass any of them.
We charge them all.
Let us not forget, dear brethren, the incomparable prevarication of the leader of the opposition.
We charge thee, Corbyn.
Above all, for choosing to charge a kebab judge, a kebab competition, as nigh on 1 million of his voters marched to demand a people's vote.
The
Vegetarian traitor. In the name of the Father.
In the name of the Father, leaving us to seek ever new alliances with global powers whose deals with us would swallow us without trace and make Genghis Khan, their human rights make Genghis Khan look like a pussycat.
And the sun.
Or welcoming the interference of the Russians, whose oligarchs have invaded our capital, infiltrated our social media, or poisoned people in sleepy market towns while pretending to admire cathedrals.
And the Holy Ghost.
For the leaving of the European Union,
Flawed but well-intentioned.
as the ERG doth pledge unto us, will open up markets with those massive global economies which we in our naivety would jump into bed with.
Amen.
And in committing our Brexit deal to the grave, we pray for just one light bulb moment that might retrieve us from a lifetime of eternal darkness. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
I'm afraid these don't grow on trees. You gotta fake a donkey or chin. You gotta
a docket or two, boys. You gotta fake a docket or two.
Planting trees from Russian seeds, you gotta fake a docket or two.
Let's show you all that's done, shall we, Boris J, what a bus, wrote his lies on a bus. Stirred up shit, then up and quit. He had to line a pocket or two. You got to line a pocket or two, boys. You gotta line a pocket or two.
Boris J just ran away, he had to line a pocket or two.
Who says crime bombers may? Dear old Jez, passing by, Brexit glint in his eye, causing her to do for the many, not the few. He wants to lead the block of EU. He wants to lead the block of EU, boys. He wants to lead the block of EU.
Can't define a party line, he wants to lead the block of EU.
Just get on with it.
On New Day, Halloween, voters turning on the Queen. Up in the claim they're not to blame, still they pick apart the EU. They have to pick apart the EU, still they pick apart the EU.
Not to blame, they have no shame.
They have to pick apart the EU.
And so, in 2019, Brexit came to pass, and England was divided into 12 smaller kingdoms. And the area nigh unto Bristol, and unto the Mendip Woods, and unto the area of Baines, became known as the Levels, and the people thereof the Levellers, and the Thane thereof was Lord Jacob Rees-Mogg. And Lord Rees-Mogg said unto his people, we have won, and I have won myself a heck of a lot of money. But you have lost money itself. But fear not, you sweaty Levellers, for you have the barter deal, and you can barter amongst you all eggs, chickens, cauliflowers, lamb shanks, pig's trotters, eels, seaweed, and so forth. And thus we can spurn prosperity and cleave unto poverty, which is the sweetest of things. And Lord Rees-Mogg decreed that to have affordable and exchangeable property, all men and all women, and all children, and all animals as needed such protection, should inhabit wholesome mudus hutus, made not of brick, but of noble Levels mud. And these appeared, shining grey across the levels, while brick houses crumbled into ruin across the land. And lo, the arts of reading and mathematics became mysteries, and men and women did such work as the making and mending of mudus hutus, mud masonry, and the baking of mud pies. And the third king, Gorgeous Georgius Moggus, gave unto his people a refinement of health care, where doctors, both male and female, chanted healing songs. And lo, mortality flourished across the land, as did chickenpox, smallpox, and sundry diseases wherewithal. And the Levellers bent their knee in awe to their lord, developing the chronic condition prepatellar bursitis, otherwise known as knee mog. And they chanted unto him, praise him, praise him, praise him, Lord Mog Almighty.
Them tweeters nearby, Fungus?
So
Yeah. Been coming in to mend it woods, they have.
that they have, bonus. That they have.
Well, sharpen that arrow, practice that bow. We are the Somerset Levellers. Ah, ruler, the gorgeous Georges Rees Mogg Thane of Baines. Oh, if only we had guns!
Guns like Europe got.
We ain't got no guns!
Got no money.
Scots ain't got money.
Yeah, them Europeans.
Irish people state got money.
Them Europeans.
Oh, we got mud, not money.
Mudders Hutters.
That's right, we got mud.
Two buckers! What am I
Oh, what are we 6 bushes?
I'll give you a bunch of lupins.
Barter deal for bunch of lupin! Love a nice lupin!
Oh, I love buggers. Oh, me oh my luck someday. I do love a pair of buggers. Oh, my old man's a bookman.
How can he be when he don't know how to read?
Oh, my old man's a bookman. He don't know how to read. He wears gold blinding
What's
glasses.
he doing wearing glasses for when he don't know how to read?
Vanity. Oh, my old man's a bookman. He don't know how to read. He wears gold blinding glasses and he looks very nice
No,
indeed.
we don't.
Some people make a fortune.
How do they don't?
Some people make a mint.
I grows everywhere on the levels!
My old man don't get that much. In fact, he's flipped his skin.
I'm Danny from the People's Irish State. And you?
Well, we are the Levellers. Did you come through Gardas?
I burst through backstop.
Well then, backward go! We banish you!
Backward, but why? Oh, noble flowers, are you living amongst these mud huts with squalling animals and no electricity? People's Irish state is still European.
What have Europe ever done for us?
Yeah.
Them let us try to be tarts.
Yeah.
Them took everything. From our fathers. What did they ever do for us?
Not just from our fathers,
No.
but from our fathers.
They just talk, and what did they ever give back in return?
They gave you free trade and money.
Well, I guess they did give us those, that's right.
But apart from that, what else?
Human rights.
All right. I'll grant you that. Human rights, free trade, money. But apart from that, what have Europe ever done?
Peace in Northern Ireland. The right to a fair trial. The right to privacy. Freedom of religion. Freedom from torture. Freedom from discrimination. Prosperity.
Fair enough, but I'm not sure about prosperity. What's that mean?
Living with great stuff. You live amongst mud. Where's your joy? Where's your swagger? Where's your glory?
Where's it going?
Throw off the chains of King Rees Mogg. Join us in the People's Irish State. Rise up.
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 Europe is the place to be.
They speak all kinds of lingo.
There's bars and pubs and bistros too.
Where they drink loads of vino.
There's some like plates of pasta.
Some like sauerkraut.
But I steer clear of froggy food.
Cause the garlic knows you out. Oh, Europe is the place to be. Where they drink loads of vino.
You'll never hear the Brexit word
In any kind of lingo.
Hey!
La 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 la. Oh, la 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 la.
of racing at Westminster. But join us just in time for the big race, the Brexit Unicorn High Stakes Handicap. First up is Jeremy Corbyn on constructive ambiguity, an interesting ride with plenty of potential. Coming out of the closet now is Theresa May on Poison Chalice. Non-starters are May's Deal, Malthouse Compromise, and Canada+++. But we do have a new entry from an independent stable with Nigel Farage on Quel Dommage. They're lining up now, and they're just getting into the stalls now, and Farage is last in. They're just making sure they're all in, and they're under starting orders, and they're off. And it's Poison Chalice spilling out onto the course with reckless abandon towards the first fence. No. It's stopped. As have all the others. For over 2 years. Doing nothing. Oh, but now it looks as if indicative votes has got them moving again. Yeah, economic stability seems to have fallen a number of times, but remarkably it's struggling on, and international reputation doesn't look like it'll recover. They're all going round the bend as people's vote makes a surprising charge on the outside, with millions cheering it on. Oh no, May is clinging onto the back of meaningful vote. She's got the whip out, is flogging it with all her might. We can see it's going nowhere, despite her efforts to bring it back from the dead. Accidental No Deal is still way out in front and unlikely to be stopped. Cherry Amendment is trying to offer answer, but there's a surprising lack of labour behind its efforts. Corbynite Following is still blindly following on. Yes, it was odds on at the start, of course, but it's been ridden so badly it's now a rank outsider. Oh, it's Burko's Bombshell now, blowing the field wide open to rapturous applause and bringing some order to affairs. David Davis, Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson are jostling for position at the back. And Mark Francois is sprinting along on Territorial Army Patriot, but he keeps swallowing his own feet. It's Customs Union versus Call the whole thing off, heading for the final stretch, but they still have to deal with People's Vote. And as People's Vote nears the finishing line, it's neck and neck. We feel that was a close one, and just get on with it. And at the line, it's too close to call. So we'll have to wait another few months for the results. So for now, back to Bruff in the paddock.
Like not that.
What's that, my lady?
Didst thou see the way he looked at me? Let me have around me men who are fat. Yond Jacob has a lean and hungry look. He sneers too much. Would he were fatter?
Fear him not. He's not dangerous. He is true Tory and well given.
Would he were fatter? And did I fear him not? Seldom he smiles. And smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit. Would he were fatter?
As Bojo, perhaps?
A pestilential curse upon that man!
Great lady! Beware the 29th of March!
Fellow, we have already passed that date.
Beware the end of April! May and June! Beware the end of August! July! And September, but above all, Halloween!
Enough!
Take heed, lady. You have many enemies, most of them on your side of the house.
What means this shouting? I do fear Parliament have voted against your deal.
Again! Come and let us hear the worst.
Once more unto the breach, dear friend. Once more! Or block the channel with our English fare.
In truth, there's nothing so becomes our cause
as deep-fried Mars bars after fish and chips.
For when the blast of war blows through our ears, we imitate the action of the glutton, stiffen the arteries, thicken the blood.
Disguise fair nature with fried eggs and bread, and let our bodies sink into thick aspic.
Let grease seep through the cells of our blocked pores. Now let the teeth decay and waste expand.
With
Breath that stinks and bowels untutored from full blockage.
What is here amiss that we in the Commons must now address?
Most high, mighty, and most puissant leader, we have beseeched thee oft.
this delay doth hurt Britain's cause
Europe is a heavy chain.
upon us all.
I have done all that I can do.
Not so.
Oh, Theresa, most misguided lady.
Speak. Hands.
Two, Hamid. Then four, Theresa.
Liberty, freedom, the EU is dead.
The will of the people will prevail, and Brexit will become our holy grail.
Praise the EU, stand beneath its folds, we'll live and die. Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer, the EU flag is flying here. Here we are, Alexei, your ticket to Salisbury.
Magnificent station, Paddington, I love very much. I see that we go via town of Reading.
Yes, it is in county of Berkshire.
That makes sense that maybe we stay the night in Wiltshire, huh?
I think you are getting a little confused again, comrade.
No, I have here in the guidebook. We visit the lovely town of Salisbury for the cathedral, and the next day we visit the World Heritage Center of Stonehenge.
And you have your instructions?
I have also here, comrade.
Then I suggest you read them.
Okay. Mission Tourist Novichok.
Not allowed! Better to memorize them and then immediately dispose of.
You like me to eat them?
Why, are you hungry?
Now you mention it, there is McDonald's.
Later, after we have concluded our business.
Yes, the cathedral.
Here is train, Alexei, come on.
Okay. Such lovely scenery. Beautiful.
Here we are, Alexei.
The cathedral! Oh, it's magnificent! I take photograph in portrait mode. You know, the spire is 123 meters high!
Yes, and here is handy bench on which to sit.
You know, I think being a tourist does not suit you very well, comrade. You always seem so tired.
Oh, there's just a lot of slush on the ground and I need to wipe my boots.
This is nothing compared to the snow in Russia. In Moscow, it would be above the spire of the beauty.
Just wait 1 second, I just have to do this one little thing. I just have to put on my mask.
All this way from Moscow and see such a lovely building. So nice.
Yeah.
You. I like you.
What is funny?
You look like Stuart Little.
It was the only mask I could find. No.
I take selfie.
No photographs, stupid.
What is this, fairy dust?
It's just a little memento of our visit, okay? Come along now, quickly, come.
Oh, wait, but the cathedral.
No, there is no time.
Stonehenge?
No, there is too much slush on the ground.
But I have good strong Russian
Well,
boots.
the Wiltshire slush might harm them.
But I want to see the cathedral and...
We must go immediately back to London.
Oh, that is most unfortunate.
Right. Comrade, but it cannot be helped. Okay, come along, come on.
Wait, comrade, I have a question.
What now, Alexei?
I saw newspaper on tube.
Do you know you are forbidden to read British newspaper?
It's what they call a freebie. There was cartoon of Boris Johnson. He was kissing the feet of Vladimir Putin.
Be careful what you say.
No. He was saying, "Thank you, great leader, for everything you have done for our country." What do you think he mean by this?
Comrade, may I remind you why you are here? Repeat your instructions!
Thanks to our great leader, Vladimir Putin, we have a lovely little Airbnb apartment in obscure East London suburb so that we can visit Salisbury for the cathedral and Stonehenge.
That is good. Very good, comrade. Right, now come along before they realize how we meddled with the 2016 referendum. Okay, come on.
But I am hungry. There is a little Italian restaurant, Zizi.
No, I buy something on train. Come on.
Oh, but I don't trust British rail sandwiches.
Today needs no introduction from me. We are deeply honoured, Mom, to welcome you to the Sandringham Women's Institute.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, as I look around the hall this afternoon, I am reminded of the tremendous part the Women's Institute played in our national cause. From advice on how to make the contents of our chamber pots grow whopper vegetables in World War II, to more traditional recipes for jams, preserves, and tracklements. And so, ladies, I ask myself, if the WI can so successfully make collective chutney, why are our politicians in such a European pickle? I haven't quite finished yet, Madam President. One is, you know, put in mind of the year 1605. The Bard of Stratford was penning the tragedy of King Lear, the story of the aging monarch beset by grasping offspring who cannot wait to see him dead.
Oh, sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. I quote, of course. It was during this same year that a group came together with a common purpose, rather like the WI. So remarkable was their collective endeavour that 4 centuries later we still light up the skies with exploding devices. I speak, of course, of the gunpowder plot. We should never forget how Guido Fawkes, Spanish and Catholic, crept on the night of November the 5th, 1605, into the crypt underneath the Palace of Westminster with 36 barrels of gunpowder. A substantial amount by anyone's standards, and certainly enough to send its entire inhabitants into Queendom Come. The plot was thwarted, for good or ill, depending on your point of view. And yet one wonders, if there were a similar threat now, it might just galvanise our elected members into rolling up their sleeves, chucking all the Euro ingredients into a bowl and giving it a jolly good mix. The whole bloody business could be sifted, rubbed and rolled out into a nice continental scone mixture with jam, garlic, a sprinkling of parmesan and a topping of sauerkraut. In other words, Madam President, what Parliament needs is a WI solution. Ladies. Maybe this time we'll be lucky. Maybe this time we'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, leave won't cheat all the way. If we just hold fast, we'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore, like the last time, by a percentage of 4. Everybody loves a ruler, but they're turning on me. Ruling peaceful over blighty, that's what I long to be. When all the odds are they're in one's favor, something's about to begin. It's gotta happen sometime. Maybe this time, maybe this time we'll win.
Islington. Order.
chirpy, chirpy. A chirpy, 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 chirp.
I, for one, would like to hear what the honourable member has to cheep. The honourable member.
A chirpy, chirpy, chirpy. A chirpy, chirpy, chirp, chirp. Chirpy, 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 chirpy,
I do not like to see any member making threats. The honourable member.
chirpy, chirpy, chirpy. Chirpy, chirpy, chirp, chirp. Chirpy, 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 chirp.
Any member interrupting proceedings, I shall ask them to write out 1,000 times. I shall not make pandemonium.
Quack!
I shall have no more monkey. The honourable member for all hedges. I should advise you to speak trippingly and with all seeming haste. The honourable member.
Chirpy, chirpy, chirpy.
You really are a most excitable individual. I must advise you to remain calm. Members will know that I take my responsibilities very seriously. I must not indulge in any political bias order in the House. That Remain sticker is in my wife's car, and it is entirely her business. Now, it's my responsibility to keep order in this house, but I can assure you that in my own house, it is my wife who keeps order.
Good boy. You're a good boy. Good boy. Sit back.
Here we are, chap.
Oh, spinning, and that's bloody or such a brick. What have we got?
Ham sandwiches, pork pies, spammy dodgers, and
lashings of ginger beer. Oh, lovely. I can't wait.
Oh, you're the tops, Anne. A proper girl.
Oh, thanks very much, Julian.
Oh, get over it, George.
There's nothing to get over, Julian. I am perfectly comfortable with being a bi-denominational person of the opposite gender.
tuck in, everyone.
Lovely.
I thought we were here to plan our anti-Brexit campaign.
Yeah, but we need food first, and Jimmy's absolutely famished.
I'd rather he didn't eat junk.
Well, there's nothing wrong with my picnic, I hope.
Well, except it's not very good if you happen to be vegan.
But I didn't know Timmy was a vegan.
Not the dog! Idiot!
Since when have you been a vegan?
Since forever, Julian. You just haven't noticed.
Yeah, but I could have saw this for you last night eating a sausage.
I didn't eat. I think it's time we started the meeting.
Great, shall I?
No, thank you, Julian. I'm the chair.
Yeah, but she's a girl.
Just go along with it.
Only item on the agenda, strategies to defeat Brexit.
What's the current situation?
Deal, Norway, customs union, Halloween extension.
What happened to the Canada Super Plus treaty? Sorry, Timmy, I shouldn't have mentioned treaty.
Yes, actually. It's something that Dick and I have been working on. It's a plan from World War II.
Oh, might have guessed boys' own stuff.
We were rummaging through the attic and we came across the wartime chest of my great-grandfather, Sir Hubert Manley Wigthorpe. He was in Special Operations Executive.
That means he was a spy.
Ooh. Took us 3 days to work out how to get it open. In the end, Dick suggested using a key.
Oh, did it work?
Yes, and inside were the plans for the most unusual weapon.
What are you getting at, Julian?
Cowpats!
What?
Cowpats! Exploding cowpats. They activate immediately when you tread on them. Pow!
How in the name of all that is continental is that going to shut up, Timmy?
We place them strategically, of course.
Oh, I see. We put them under certain seats in the House of Commons where known ERG members sit.
Does it kill them?
No, it just puts a bit of vinegar up the old King Kong.
What Julian means is it gives them a kick on the ass in the right direction.
By pushing them towards the people's vote box.
Bingo, but there is a flaw.
What's that?
How do we get into the House of Commons in the first place? Security's about as tight as Dick's arse.
Hey?
Oh, that's not a problem.
Isn't it?
No, because when George and I were rummaging in the cellar the other day, we came across my great-great-grandmother, the suffragette Flossie O'Flaherty's campaign file. Yes. And in it, we discovered an underground map of the House of Westminster.
Oh, I say, girls, I'm most awfully impressed.
Will let that sexist comment pass in the interest of group unity?
The only thing missing was any indication of the entrances until George had the most extraordinary stroke of good luck.
Oh wow, what happened?
Well, a day later when I was in the stables, I happened to tread upon a loose floorboard. Underneath was the diary of my great-great-aunt Guida Fortescue Fawkes, a well-known Spanish Republican fighter.
A foreigner?
Oh, pretend I didn't hear that! Julian!
And then what?
In the diary was a diagram of all the entrance points to the House of Commons.
You mean we could just walk right in there, place the bombs, and get out? Nobody would know. Sorry, I shouldn't have said W-A-L-K.
That's so patronising. He knows how to spell.
Makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? I mean, with this whole horrendous mess that Parliament's making of Brexit, when, with the help of a few ancestors, we could solve the whole thing.
They don't seem to have any better ideas.
No.
Anyone for more ginger beer?
Yes, please. You're spiffing.
Legend coming your way very soon, but I'm going to need some help with the singing on the choruses if I'm going to get him out. So, when he says voting, I want you to say voting. We're just going to try that now. Voting, 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 voting. One more time. Voting, 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 voting. Okay, I think you're ready. I have my team, and now for your pleasure, the rock and roll legend, Mr. Levis Presley!
Let me tell you about a place somewhere down the London way, where the wrestling with May, both in our rights away. But they can't get Brexit done. Man, they got the old and young voting our rights away. Voting, 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 voting. And I never wanna say voting, 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 voting our rights away. Dancing queen, she's the worst you've ever seen. Wasting our time with me, man, we ought to see it go. Who'd replace her, I don't know. All becomes a circus show. Voting our rights away. Voting, voting, voting. voting, voting, deny you never wanna say. Voting, 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 voting our rights away one more time. Voting, 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 deny you never wanna say. Voting, 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 voting our rights away.
Yeah?
Good morning. I'm here to see Professor Shrodinger. I'm from the government.
Certainly, sir. Walk this way.
Page 2. Multiply by the time it takes to pass a rock around the clock, and you should get 9! This is all wrong! Will I never discover who puts it bomb? It's a bomb, shibomb, shibomb!
Excuse me, master. You have a visitor from the government.
Good morning, Professor Shrodinger. I'm afraid we're having a few issues.
With the Maybot? How can this be? She is my finest creation, strong and stable all the way.
Well, that's just it, you see. She's got a bit wacky and wobbly.
How can this be? Create for us a prime monster that will instill fear into the hearts of the Remainers. That's what you said.
But the Maybot is out of control. She says she will bring a new deal in and then she brings back the same one. She says she will resign and then doesn't. And now she's claiming to have a mandate, which is clearly untrue.
Oh, this is very bad. What shall we do about this?
Well, master, we could always stick her in a box.
You know I love a solution with the box, but I think we need another plan.
We could get Larry the cat and stick him inside a box.
No, I won't let you keep stereotyping me into being so three-dimensional all of the time.
Sorry, master.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, if things are really as bad as you say they are they?
Well, she keeps breaking into dance when anyone plays ABBA.
Steve! Gordon! Bad! That's bad! We haven't got any time. I must go back to the drawing board. I must create an even bigger monster to defeat her. Igor! Start the generators!
Yes,
Throw up your design schematics first.
Activate the logic suppressor!
Activating now!
Policy. Well, now look here.
Fire up the propaganda hyperdrive!
3, 2, 1, activating!
Open the bizarre gate!
Opening now, master!
I say, what an absolute spiffing pleasure to be with you here. For some whiff-waff and what have you, and God save the queer.
I say, that's more like it.
Yes, do you think the public will buy it?
We made America great again, didn't we?
Yes, now, how do we turn off the Maybot?
Ah, that is simple. Just set her loose in a field of wheat. She'll be fine.
Jolly good. So, we'll send payment through the usual channels.
Yes, you can put in an invoice.
Mumski's the word. Cheerio.
I'll see you out, sir. It's alive! It's alive!
Britain, there's no need to be down, I said Britain. Pick yourself off the ground, I said Britain. We can turn it around, there's no need to be unhappy, Britain. There's a place we can go, I said, Britain. When we're short on our dough, we can go there. And I think you will find many ways to get a goods deal. It's fun to go to the WTO. It's fun to stay in the WTO. They have everything, and their tariffs are plump. We can hang out with Donald Trump. It's fun to stay in the WTO. It's fun to go into the WTO. You can coronate your meal. We can get a goods deal. We can do whatever we feel.
Boris, are you listening to me? I said, Boris, what do you want to be? I said, Boris, we can make real your dreams, but you've got to know this one thing. No man does it all by himself. I said, Britain, put your pride upon the shelf and just stay there. Remain here in the EU, and I'm sure we can help you to stay. You shouldn't play with the WTO. You shouldn't play with the WTO. We have everything for you Brits to enjoy. You can say it was Putin's ploy. It's fun to stay in the EU. It's fun to stay in the EU. We have everything for you Brits to enjoy. You can get yourself back to being real. EU.
Do it all myself. Nobody thinks about me. I do it all. Hello, everybody! Hello. Oh, wow, there's more people here than I thought. Nothing else to do on a Saturday afternoon. That's good. Are you enjoying yourself so far? What do you think of Brexit? Let's try that again. What do you think of Brexit? Supposed to shout rubbish. We'll try again. What do you think of Brexit? Rubbish! Isn't it? It's rubbish. Now look, this is what I think of Brexit. I'm just going to do something for you. See if I can do this. Article 50. I like a bit of spooning. Now, careful with that. Now then, we're going to do a few things. All you've got to do is join in, pretend that you're in a crowd of thousands. The more you encourage me, the more fun you're going to have. So let's try this. Hey! Try again. All at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Hey! Thank you. Very good. So you're going to start. Now, the louder you get, the better. Here we go. And now for some danger! Plastic. His face is like that. Okay, let's see if we can do something. Unlike Brexit, this isn't completely pointless. Thanks to the Leave campaign and their lies, deceit, gravity, UKIP, Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson, Boris Johnson, hatred, lies. Trying to think of a few other things actually. Oh yeah, Russian involvement. Cambridge Analytica, all that, you get the idea. It's all very, very bad. It's all very bad. And thanks to the internet, we are awash with lies, misinformation, untruths, false news. Everybody, give me a drum roll, nice and loud, please. Because, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to the internet, it's so bad, we can't get away from it. That's the most I've got so far. I normally do really well and keep it on the tray, but someone's going to break their neck on that. Now, thanks to our grandparents who fought against fascism and they crushed them, we stand upon the shoulders of giants. Bit of a balancing act here, bit of a balancing act. I think we've got it, ladies and gentlemen. Think of the future of our children, the future of our children. Let me hear you say, stop Brexit! Stop Brexit! Let me hear you say, revoke Article 50! Revoke Article 50! Can we rid ourselves of the lies, of the racism? I think we can. Ladies and gentlemen, if we stick together and we believe and we work hard, miracles do happen. I raise a glass to you and the EU. Cheers! Thank you very much. May we always remain.
I have myself, yes me, Theresa May, full confidence that if I do my duty again and again and again and again, oh stop me someone, oh don't stop me, oh do stop me, oh don't stop me. If nothing is neglected, but everything is neglected, and if the best arrangements are made, as they are being made, we're stockpiling toilet rolls and we've got a really brilliant evacuation plan for the monarchy. That's for a no deal, of course, which, oh boy, could happen yet. Not that I want it to happen, or do I? Loads of the guys will make loads of money. And we shall prove ourselves once again able to defend our island home, to ride out the storm, to outlive the menace, to outlive, if necessary, for years, if necessary, alone. Don't need any trade deals, we can grow our own. At any bank rate, that is what we're going to try to do. That is the resolve of Her Majesty's government, every man and every woman of them. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. Full rights for our fishermen. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost shall be. Increased unemployment, poorer trade deals, bonfire of environmental rules. We shall fight on the beaches. No more holidays on the Costa del Sol. Back to the family, huddling together on a British beach in a force 9 gale. We shall never surrender. And even as youth cries out for Europe, and even if this island, or a large part of it, was starving in Sunderland or in the north, for example, we shall carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the New World, which resides mostly in places such as Maidenhead and Tunbridge Wells, the New World will have completely conquered and will just be a damn small, mean little island without partnership, without power, without prosperity.
welcome to another edition of Trick or Treat, the only game show with everybody's future up for grabs. I'm your host, Bob Forsyth. This is my assistant of resistance, the Dame of Remania herself, the lovely Poppy. Can I get a no? So, let's get ready to play Trick or Treat! And our first contestant is the Prime Minister, Theresa May. Warm round of applause. Come on, don't look. Welcome, Prime Minister. Welcome. Now then, our last contestant decided to ask the electorate, and when he didn't like the answer, he quit the game. But that means there's everything to play for, and all the prizes are up for grabs. Poppy, tell us what's on offer tonight.
Tonight's prizes include economic stability, increased confidence and investment, and restoring our international reputation.
Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it, Theresa?
Well, I'm not sure. It couldn't get any worse, could it?
Of course it could, and it probably will for decades to come. So, tonight's game, you have 2 boxes to choose from. The first is marked Trick. The second is marked Treat. All you have to do is decide which one you want to define the UK's future. Off you go.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Gonna need some sort of leadership from you.
Can I phone a friend?
Bad choice, Theresa. You don't have any friends.
I'm not doing a very good job, am I?
Nobody thinks you are, Theresa. Nobody thinks you are. But still, we do have to deal with these boxes. So, what's it gonna be?
As a hero of mine once said, the lady's not for turning. No, I shall go when I get this done. I can make the right choice for everyone. I'm not one to miss a trick. So I pick Trick.
Okay then, Trick it is. Poppy, let's have a look at what she's won.
It's a can of pumpkin puree!
Yes, congratulations. You've won another can that you can kick down the road until Halloween. Extending uncertainty, sowing further social discord, and ruining our reputation on the world stage. Well done. Poppy, can we tell us what she could have won?
Tonight, Bob, the treat was actually a treaty, the Germany Plus model.
Oh, that sounds good. Tell us more.
Germany Plus means controlling our borders and sending people home who cannot support themselves. Keeping the pound, not taking the euro, and voting on our own laws. Allowing businesses to sell goods without restrictions or tariffs. And all of this for a third of the price.
That sounds amazing. If only you would have picked that.
Well, actually, Bob, that's what we have now. Unless she kicks that can into November.
Well, there you have it. And that's all the time we have. So, unless our reigning loser here does decide to come back in October, keep smiling, keep stockpiling, because in October you can play Trick or Treat. Do you want the people's vote saying if Brexit should be done? There are concerns about the way the referendum has been won. When the rulings of the courts echo the cheating of the dumb, our way of life is about to end when tomorrow comes.
Will you join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me? Beyond the BBC, is there a world you long to see? Then join in the fight that will give you the right to be free. Do you want the people's vote saying if Brexit should be done? There are concerns about the way the referendum has been won. When the rulings of the courts echo the cheating of the dumb, our way of life is about to end when tomorrow comes.
Will you give all you can give so that we take back our control? Democracy is dead and we are in this massive hole. The price will be paid by the young with their futures and souls.
Do you want the people's vote saying that Brexit should be done? There are concerns about the way the referendum has been won. When the rulings of the courts echo the cheatings of the done, our way of life is about to enter tomorrow.